Hey guys, today we have a pair of Nick's boots that have been covered in asphalt. Well, today we're going to break them completely down and we're going to make them brand new. Yeah, I said brand new. Let's go.
All right, this project is not a paid sponsored by Nick's. We like working with these guys and they like working with us, and they always send us a boot. They did it this time last year and we transformed it and y'all apparently liked it. If you haven't seen that one, after this one, we'll put the link in the description below. You can check it out, but they sent us a little care package. Let's see what they gave us. All right, we got an old pair of last. You need these, some laces, chunks of leather, some new kilties, some hardware, and looks like some new vamps and lining. All right, I think we know what we're gonna do this time. This is gonna be a pretty intense project and it's gonna take a while, so let's get started.
I did mention that these belong to a guy who did asphalting. I assume that's the right term. Anyway, dirty.
All right, so the counters on these are real leather, and I'm not gonna shape new counters. These are in fine shape and we can reuse these. All right, new insoles are ready to start to carve. Now, the reason that we sanded off that top layer is because if you don't, sometimes that can rub on that the top of the leather and cause a squeak. So that's why you either sand it off or glass it off when making a shoe. All right, these were originally a 8.5 F, but not many people are gonna wear that. So we are putting on new vamps, and these are gonna be a size 10E, a little bit more wearable. All right, we're gonna give these insoles a little soak, and it makes them easier to shape because we are gonna be altering the construction of these boots just a little bit. All right, so we have glued the new vamps onto the old quarters, and now we're gonna stitch through the original stitch lines, and then we'll put our new counters in. This is normally done with a post stitching machine. I don't have one, so I gotta use a patching machine. The motor on this thing, it doesn't have as much control, so I get an arm worked out trying to stitch this thing. All right, let's get this hill counter back down in this little pocket. And then we're gonna soak these things, make them a little bit more pliable and make it easier to last. All right, we're gonna give these a warm little bath pretty quick just to soak in and make them a little bit more pliable for lasting. All right, so we pulled back the upper and we've just got the lining. We're gonna relast the lining because we're not gonna do a straight stitch down like they originally were. We've got to mold this down and then we can put the toe puff on because I can't reuse the toe puff. We had to make it out of leather. And so I can't do that with the lining down, I mean the upper down. This is toe puff and hill counter paste. It will make it stick, but also will stiffen up when it gets on the leather. And the good thing about this is you can wet it again and remold it if you have to. So it's not like once you stick it, it's done. All right, let's catch you up to where we are. This was originally a stitch down, and as you can see, it's still a form of stitch down, but it's been turned into a welted stitch down. And so what we've done is we've actually turned it into a Norwegian welt using this rope stitch, and then we can start adding our layers and stitching down as well. All right, so we have done a bunch of buildups on this with leather. Now the reason why is because the Christie heel is only about 1 inch in the back, and this had a very high arch and a high heel, so we had to build this up to match the height and the pitch of a Christie sole. A lot of leather. I didn't show every single step because all it was just leather, just gluing and stacking and sanding. So, all right, I got someplace to be, so I'm gonna hand this off to Trent and he's gonna take it home.
Okay guys, so like Heath said, he did all the hard part. It's pretty much over. All I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna put a couple of coats of glue on the boot, a couple of coats of glue on the Christie. We'll stick those, sand those, the project's over. So, let's get to it. Okay guys, the boots are ready. Now, a huge thank you to Heath for doing about 98% of this boot. This was all him, so you know, he did an awesome job. Now, guys, if you enjoyed the video, as always, please give us a big thumbs up. We would really appreciate it. Share the video, like the video, subscribe to the channel. We have a lot more to come. Okay guys, now, to this pair of boots. Now, as you can see, this pair of boots, when they came in, they were covered in asphalt. I believe the gentleman that owned these before, obviously he laid asphalt for a living, and they were just absolutely filthy. Just trying to get the asphalt off of the leathers and get those soles taken off, if you remember, was just an absolute mess. And Nick's Boots said, hey guys, if you want to redo this pair of boots, we'll give you whatever you need, just let us know. So we said, hey, yeah, give us some new leather for the uppers, give us some new last, give us new laces, and you know, we just kind of went from there. And that's what they did. So we actually took this current pair, the pair that was covered in asphalt, it was a cap toe boot. It also came with a Christie, but it definitely did not have a high arch on it. We broke the boot completely down, and we put a new last in there that Nick sent to us. It was just a random last, a totally different size last, and they sent that to us, and we kind of had to work with what they gave us. So again, we changed the uppers. It no longer is a cap toe. We wanted to go with like a rough out leather on the front portion of the boot as well as the back portion. We kept kind of the stitch down construction, but we went a little different. If you remember correctly, instead of just a straight up stitch down, which is what Nick's does, we wanted to go with a Norwegian welt. So we added a gimming, we put a little cork in there. We did the cool little braided Norwegian welt on the outside in brown because we thought the black-brown contrast would kind of look cool with the new soles we put on. Then we also did a double stitch along the welt portion of the stitch down. And we did that in brown stitches as well. And we also did that in a very hardy, thick thread, and it just really pops. I think it looks great. And then on top of that, then we added a bit of nicks to this pair of boots. If you remember, if you guys know nicks at all, they always have stacked leather. Well, not always, but most of their boots have that stacked leather look. And because this had such a high arch, Heath and I went back and forth. Hey, do we put crepe in there? Do we make it real comfortable? Or do we do leather? Well, we said, hey, this, you know, let's keep it like a Nick's. So that's what we did. We added a lot of stacked leather to be able to accommodate that Christie. Because a Christie doesn't have quite the pitch that this boot did. So we had to make up the difference. So Then we looked all over for this camo Christie sole. A big shout out to Bedo's Leatherworks, Steve. He helped us track down a pair of these camo Vibram soles. We looked everywhere for these things. Well, they came right in the nick of time. We put those on there, and I think they'd look pretty cool. Now, I call this the Franken boot because it's different. It's definitely different, but you know, I think it's a pretty neat looking boot the way it came out. And man, it is completely brand new from top to bottom. I think there's only the sides of the leather, maybe the only thing that are original. And then of course, we had to stamp the Trenton and Heath logo right above the nicks. Don't know if you caught that. If not, go ahead and hit that rewind button and look real close. You can see it. Hey, we had to put our mark on it, you know what I'm saying? Because these boots are one of a kind. Thanks so much for joining us. Until next time, y'all have a good one.